Hi, Assalamualaikum. I'm the first presenter and I'm going to explain on the definition of total quality management. Firstly, I want to explain on the definition of quality. Quality can be referred as a parameter which decides the superiority or inferiority of a product or service. It can be defined as an attribute which differentiates a product or service from its competitors. Next, I'm going to explain on the definition of total quality management. Total quality management can be defined as a continuous effort by the management as well as employees of a particular organization to ensure long-term customer loyalty and customer satisfaction. It also ensures that every single employee is working towards the improvement of work culture, processes, systems, services, and so on to ensure long-term success. Next, I'm going to tell a bit on the history and evolution of total quality management. The history of total quality management began initially as a term by the Naval Air Systems Command to describe its Japanese-style management approach to quality improvement. In the 1920s, the scientific management principles began as some of the first seeds of the quality management were planted through the US industry. The businesses clearly separated the process of planning and carrying out the plan, and the union opposition was achieved since the workers are aware in the conditions and functions of their work. In addition, Houghton experimented that the productivity of workers could impact by participation from all the workers. Quality control was introduced to detect and fix problems along the production line to prevent the production of faulty products. In the 1930s, Dr. W. Sherwood developed the application of statistical methods to the management of quality. Besides, he made the first modern control chart and demonstrated the variation in the production process. Therefore, eliminating variation in the process leads to a good standard of end products. Later, in the 1950s, Sherwood's work was developed by Deming, Juren, Feigenbaum, and Crosby. This can be seen as W. Edwards Deming taught about the methods of statistical analysis and control of quality to Japanese engineers and executives. Besides, Joseph M. Juren also taught about the concepts of controlling quality and managerial breakthrough. Next, books of total quality control about the present understanding of total quality management by Armand V. Feigenbaum was published. In addition to that, Philip B. Crosby also promotes the zero defects paved the way for quality improvements in many companies. In 1968, Ishikawa discussed on total quality control in Japan, which is different from the Western idea of its total quality. He decided to name the approach of total quality to company-wide quality control, which involves all employees from top management to the workers in the quality control. In the history of today, a broad and systematic approach in managing organizational quality is called Total Quality Management (TQM). Other than that, quality standards such as the ISO 9000 series and awards such as the Deming Prize and Malcolm Baldrige also comprise of total quality management model that have been developed by the US government to improve their competitiveness in its industry. Lastly, I want to explain a bit on the objectives of total quality management. One of the objectives is to improve the quality of products and services. There are three components in a quality of product, which consists of high accuracy, compliance with applicable standards, and high customer satisfaction. They need to measure each component and achieve improvements. And in doing that, the product testing can measure the accuracy of each product, compliance with the standards, and the functional testing of each product can prove whether the products meet the customer satisfaction. Further, the test scores yield information about problems and indicates any improvements to be achieved. Secondly, influencing organizational culture. The culture of organization plays a crucial role in the total quality management as people are receptive to changes, for them to listen, understand, and get involved to improve the process of each product. If any problems occur in the quality of a product, the employees will take responsibilities and they will try to avoid any possible mistakes in the future. The last objective is focusing on training needs. When there are problems occur despite the skill of the employees, the additional training may be required since total quality management are really detailed on the skills, training and qualifications in carrying out specific tasks. When employees do not achieve the quality goals of a company, there will be problems arise from the test results. Thus, the type of training that need to be achieved will improve the performance of a company. That is all from me. Next, I will pass to the next presenter.
For the planning, the management can see clearly on how a process that should be undertaken to achieve the objectives and how to solve the problems or challenges that arise in the future. For example, is the company of a duck scarf. They tend to create a good quality of scarf and also a different patterns to be different between the competitors that also sell a same quality of shawls. Secondly is doing. The organization must develop a solution for the problems that arise and make a strategies to overcome the problems by the employees. For example, the management of the duck scarf must register the pattern of their scarf so that the competitors cannot duplicate or copy the pattern and the quality of the scarves. Thirdly is the checking phase, where the organization must do a comparison analysis before and after the plan has been applied to monitor the effectiveness of the products and also to measure the results, either positive or negatives. For example, the duck scarf must see before and after they has registered their parent of the shawls or scarves to see whether the competitors has duplicate the parent or they change to the poor quality of the scarf, so that duck scarf can take the legal action to the competitors later on. Lastly is the action phase, where the employees will gather all the data, analysis and information needed and take an action to improve the good total quality of management. So, the duck scarves can take legal action, which is by law, towards the competitors that duplicate or copy the pattern or design of their shawls, so that they can secure the quality of the duck scarf itself. Firstly is focus on customer. Total quality management focus on the customer satisfaction to improve the quality of the products. This is to ensure that the customers will not substitute to the other competitors. By way of feedbacks, reviews and also rates from the customers, the management can improve the quality of the products. Secondly is the employee involvement, where the employee must ensure to give the best service and products to the customers. For example, the employee must check is there any defect of the goods before delivery to the customers. The management also must prepare a good facilities and a working environment to the employees so that they can work in a comfortable way and also comfortable to work in a team with the other employees. Thirdly is the process centered, where total quality management will fail without a proper monitor towards the improvement of the quality process. For example, the management must monitor the goods received from the supplier and also goods delivered to the customers to avoid any defect of the goods, to improve the quality of the products and secure the products. Fourthly is the integrated system, where the organization must have an integrated systems that allow every department to apply the systems so that the total quality management will be function effectively. This is to ensure that the objective, mission and vision of the total quality management can be achieved. Next is the strategic and systematically approach, where the management must ensure that the plan must be systematically and accordingly to achieve the objective and goals of the total quality management. The next point is decision making based on the facts, where the management can measure their business performance by seeing or viewing the facts based on the figures or data or information that they receive, not based on the decision making made by the employees or the customers itself. For example, the management can take into consideration the sales forecast or the revenue figures in the financial statement so that it will be more accurate and also will be more reliable in the future. The next point is the communication, where the management must use an effective communication towards the employees so that they can see the clear vision and mission of the company to achieve and to improve the good quality of products in the future. For example, the management can use a talk or seminar so that they can motivate the employees to do better to maintaining the good quality of the products. Lastly is the continuous improvement, where total quality management focus on the continuous improvement to make sure that the quality of products can be achieved or created. It is to ensure that the profitability of the company increasing and also the performance of the company is going to improve better year by year. The company must take any actions towards any error or mistakes in the process to improve the good quality of management.
Okay, now let's take a look on the benefit, limitation and also performance measurements of the total quality management. Okay, as for the cost reduction, when a company apply total quality management consistently, it will significantly reduce costs, especially in the area of scrap, rework, field services, as this cost will flow directly into the bottom line profit and therefore will increase the profitability of an organization. Next, for the productivity improvement, it will increase the productivity significantly. This is because employee will spend less time correcting errors. Productivity means that more output per employee and therefore will increase the profitability of an organization. Okay, as for the customer satisfaction, since the company have a better product and also services, it will reduce the customer complaint. When the customer complaint reduce, it will increase the customer satisfaction and this lead to the increase in market shares. Okay, for the pulling away manpower, total quality management requires training. So training will pull people away from their regular work. Total quality management also have continuously series of incremental change, and this will cause an adverse reaction to an employee who prefer to stick with the current system. For the cost in time and money, to implement TQM, it requires years. So it will have many trainings, and trainings requires cost. As much as TQM is a long-term investment, it will not immediately improve an individual or a department. Okay, for people fear of change, although some executives have a very clear understanding on the theory of TQM, the implementation of TQM, but not employee will. Therefore, a global change in training will create fears to the employees and also uncertainty and doubt within the organization. Okay, for measuring up, it is an aim to find out how well the organization is doing and the effort to provide the quality product to the customer. This will determine whether an organization meet their long-term and short-term goals. Okay, for the process improvement team, it will examine the output to check whether it complies with the expected standard. If deficiencies were found, then the team must need to examine what are the steps needed for the correction. Okay, for the quality and quantity, an ultimate measure of quality is trust in customer. When a customer satisfied with the product, they will continuously purchase from the same organization. But if they don't, they will purchase from the competitors. The performance measurement use techniques such as survey, product testing in order to find out whether the customer is satisfied with the product, and if a problem detected, the organization must think of a way to correct the issues. For on-time delivery, a customer demand of the product to be available on the time they wanted to purchase the product. Therefore, if the product is not available, they will purchase it from the competitors. For a smaller company, they will be able to track the on-time delivery by using a software such as Excel. But for a large company, they will need to implement a performance measurement software to track all the KPI that associates to their business.
In how to implement the TQM, the first point is the commitment from the employees. For an organization's TQM policies is very important because it will bind the employees with the organizations so that everyone will know their part in the quality improvement. Thus, their commitment towards the quality of improvement can be monitored throughout the process. The second point is the quality improvement culture. The organizations need to follow the current culture and update in continuous basis how to encourage the employees to give a feedback on how the organization is doing right now. This will ensure the employee comfortable with the work they have been assigned to. Continuous improvement in process. TQM is a continuous process and is not a program. Management will always constantly improve the policies, procedures, and controls of the organizations, and this will result to a better area of improvement as it covers both the big and a small improvement. Cooperations from the employee. The biggest part in the TQM is the cooperations from the employee. This is because of the employee's role in the TQM itself. Shareholder or stakeholder can only vision about the success of this process, but the one who would implement it is the employees. So, their involvement during and after the implementation process is very important because it will ensure whether the implementation is success or not. In implementing the total quality management, focus on the customer requirements are also important because in this process, it should be prepared by focusing on the customer requirements or their expectations towards the product or the services. Nowadays, customers more value or focus on the quality of the product or the services. I take a restaurant for example. If a restaurant could not handle or cook with a lot of customers in one time, they could have to bear a loss because they could not fulfill the expectations of the customer who wants to be served quicker or faster. So, if the restaurant or the organizations could fulfill their requirements or their expectations, they could not only have a strong relationship with the customer, but also could help them to survive in this market or the industry in a very long time. Effective control should be laid down. These controls are for monitoring and also measuring the performance of the business. It helps to rectify the deficiency, if any, in the business process. So the management have to make a checklist about all the documents of the current best practice of the company so that it can analyze which is good and which is bad for the company and control it or reduce it. Let's take a look at this example. IKEA is one of the best known and also most successful home furniture company in the world. This company are also implement TQM. Firstly, they have a difference of showrooms that suits their customers' needs and also their customer taste and preference. The customer can custom make the product they want and also just buy the ready-made products from the IKEA's warehouse. And then IKEA also provides a guidelines books for their customer to know a little bit information about the product, size and also the materials and other information that the customer needs to know. And then customer can also virtualize the product they want before they purchase it from the IKEA's website or the apps in the Play Store. And then, as we know, IKEA are famous about their self-serve culture. The customer are provided with the pencil and also the paper for them to jot down the product they want, and then they will go to the IKEA's warehouse and pick up the products and go to the counter and buy it. And lastly, last but not least, is IKEA also show how they test the quality of their products from the mini TV that customer can see it when they go to the showrooms in IKEA's. Here is the relationship between total quality management and also total quality environmental management. We know that company wants to serve their customer with the best quality of their product, but they cannot forget about their responsibility towards the environment. So, when they implement the total quality environmental management also, they can prevent or also reduce an environmental pollution such as noise pollution, water pollutions, and air pollutions, and other pollutions. And then, the customer expectations towards the organizations that can fulfill the responsibility towards the environmental can also be accomplished. And then the organizations can also reduce, or there will be no waste of the environmental cost management. And last but not least, thus it can ensure the quality of the organizations and continue to improve the business operations or process.
Thank you.